Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our exclusive webinar. I'm Janier from Frontier.cool, and I'm going to be your host for today. In today's webinar, we're going to share with you some of the crucial and vital solutions that many global brands and designers are searching for, which is how to accelerate 3D digital material creation and reduce physical sample making by leveraging an AI-powered digital fabric platform that enables you to collaborate with your team members. Without further ado, let us welcome our exclusive speakers. The first one is Wayne Fan. He's the CSO of Frontier.cool. He's an apparel and fashion expert, and he is a supply chain management expert as well. And our second speaker is Anushka Velji. She's a fashion designer and she's also a luxury brand expert. And she's the business development manager of Frontier.cool. So let us start with our first speaker, Anushka Valji.
Hi, everyone. We are so glad you're here. I'm Anushka, a global BD lead based out of San Francisco, California. We're so glad you could join us today, and we're excited to tell you more about Frontier.cool solution for 3D material digitization. So as a token of our appreciation for your attendance, we will be sharing a valuable resource at the end of today's session. It's a link to a beautiful selection of 3D ready fabrics curated in mood boards so that you can take your creativity to a whole new level. So during the session, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat and our team will address them at the end of the session for the Q&A. So let's get started. So here's a little bit about who we are and what we do. We're a group of passionate enthusiasts looking to disrupt the fashion space with the help of AI and machine learning. We help our clients digitize their materials and create 3D ready fabrics with physical properties, sustainability impact, and other metadata, transforming the way they design, produce, and collaborate, thereby achieving faster time to market, accelerating innovation, reducing the need for physical samples, and shortening the time to make design decisions. In the last 6 months, we have onboarded 33 brands and retailers worldwide, 150 T1, T2, and T3 suppliers, 15 fashion digital circularity consultancies, and 25 designers, including 3D technical designers. So we are headquartered in Taiwan, which has a unique location advantage of being a formidable and indispensable textile hub to internationally renowned brands such as Gap, Adidas, Nike, who source over 65% of their innovative, sustainable, and functional fabrics from Tier 1 suppliers in Taiwan. Everest, Nianxing Textile, and Taiwan Textile Federation, and many, many more use Frontier.cool as their trusted and accredited 3D digitization partner. So Everest Textile is a leading sustainable enterprise, also headquartered in Taiwan, working with key brands like Adidas, North Face, Gap, Lululemon, Nike, and Patagonia. They first began using our platform, Textile Cloud, in August 2021, and quickly have managed to digitize over 2,000 pieces, which has helped them seamlessly collaborate with their team members across 4 different continents. The results have been amazing, with over 60% saved in time, effort, and resources, real-time environmental impact management that has driven their key decisions through our data. And lastly, but most importantly, we were easily integrated with their existing digital workflow. So ever since the pandemic in 2020, it's been amazing to witness the rapid implementation of digitization within fashion companies who were until then operating within a very traditional and linear workflow. McKinsey & Company's State of Fashion Technology Report 2022 analysis shows that fashion companies that now embed AI into their business models could see a 118% cumulative increase in cash flow by 2030. Conversely, those that are slower to invest in digital technology will lag behind and could see a 23% relative decline. So as such, we feel that digital workflows should not be viewed just as another expense, but as a future investment in mitigating costs, staying abreast with the industry standards, all while providing better efficiency and productivity, and most importantly, sustainability. So we basically began by asking our community simple questions, such as, what percentage of your material collection is done by 3D? How are you digitizing your materials? Have you digitized today? And if not, what's stopping you or your company from adopting a more widespread digital workflow? And overwhelmingly, these are the responses we received. A lack of a single true digital material for collaboration. The lack of visibility early on in the development process for various departments. The inability to adhere to a virtual quality standards. And this one was the most received feedback, the absence of the voice of the customer, leading to high marketing spend and production waste. A client from Canada that I just spoke to in the morning told me that she was having a lot of difficulty with just getting her suppliers to send her physical swatches for scanning. So that's another important one. So here's Frontier.cool's solution and approach to those pain points. We provide a single true digital fabric to foster seamless collaboration in an end-to-end digital workflow, starting right from sourcing and the pre-adoption phase. Digitization at source empowers anyone with the internet and a flatbed scanner to digitize their materials at a location convenient to them, without the need of complicated skill set or expensive hardware, all while protecting their valuable intellectual property. Frontier helps facilitate proactivity over reactivity when supply chain disruptors hit your business. COVID, geopolitical challenges, or general economic downturns don't have to impact your go-to-market speed. Frontier's rapid automated material digitization results in a 90% reduction in time compared to other solutions. While others take an average of 1.5 hours to digitize a single fabric, we do it in a fraction of time. It literally takes us 3 to 5 minutes to digitize each fabric, which means that you can digitize your bestsellers and pretty much your entire library at a super accelerated pace. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with these workflows. So let's have a look at them and how they work in contrast. So with the linear workflow, which is the physical sample workflow, this process basically expects one action happening, which basically triggers the next, which prompts the subsequent action, and so on and so forth. So in this linear workflow, working in tandem with your team members is impossible, as you have to wait for one physical sample to move from one stage of the process to the next before the subsequent department's work ever begins. Next is the evaluation of the physical sample that you've kind of got to pass the information back and forth constantly between suppliers, brands, and designers. So any disruption in the linear chain will cause a back loop with no possibility of pivoting in real time, resulting in costly delays and missed opportunity of trends which resonate with the customers. It is a workflow that has been adopted by the industry for a long time, but it's exciting to see companies embrace 3D collaboration and digital workflow today, where the possibilities are just endless. So when we have a look at the circular or collaborative workflow, we notice that sitting right at the center as the North Star is the one true source of truth. Here, what we do is we're bringing in the visibility early on in the pipeline to departments such as design, sourcing, production, marketing, but most important, the customer. The collaborative workflow gives visibility to the customers even before actual production takes place and enables putting the digital assets in front of the customers to get their feedback in real time. It's a whole new way of doing business with the voice of the customer at the very center of decision making. So when we look at the traditional product creation process, specifically when it comes to sourcing, it involves a physical sample workflow from start to finish. This is extremely time consuming and requires the shipping of swatches and hangers, which is costly, time consuming, and some never even make it to the end destination. The current digital product creation process has an element of digital workflow. However, we've noticed that time currently in the current DPC process is pretty much saved in the design stage by using 3D software and Visio. We wanted to kind of take this to the next level with Frontier, and with our powerful solution, we are able to present a solution at the pre-adoption phase. So when it comes to digital sourcing and the mood board inspiration, which brings the material sourcing lead time down from 3 to 5 months to just 3 days. Additionally, brands no longer have to wait for sourcing season and can collaborate easily with suppliers through our design hub to share information on their latest fabrics and trending collections. This could increase your turnover and maximize your current DPC process, creating a lot of effectiveness and productivity. So when it comes to our solutions, we currently offer our clients 2 modularized solutions, the first being our self-scan at source. So self-scan is very popular with our clients. They love this very easy, simple 3-step process where you can go from 2D fabrics to 3D rapidly. The user would simply take the physical swatch, use an office flatbed scanner, and within 3 to 5 minutes, our powerful AI is able to generate fabric specs, the AI-generated metadata, physical properties, including shear, thickness, bend, etc., as well as the added element of environmental impact measurements so that designers can, right at the beginning, make decisions driven by this data for their design process. We offer a seamless plugin with Browseware and Close so that the asset can be used easily within 3D CAD softwares, and we integrate seamlessly with existing PLM systems as well as ERP, making adoption super easy. So some of the benefits that our clients love about self-scanning is that it's super scalable. The data ownership remains with the brand or the supplier. It's easily deployable and requires no special hardware or skill set. So digitization as a service is a new solution that we've currently introduced. It is a service that we provide to our clients with more customized needs. So this solution is perfect for companies that are looking to rapidly build their asset library while we do the scanning on your supplier's behalf. We understand that different businesses have different needs, and we are happy to personalize your experience with this approach. Brands with KPIs for vendor compliance can rely solely on our digitization as a service to meet their set virtual quality standards. They can either opt to digitize their materials through AI or Visio upon request. So at this time, we're actually going to conduct a quick poll to see what your reaction is to our presentation so far. It's a fun question, so I'm excited to see your answers. Okay, so when it comes to DPC, how excited are you to take your fabrics from 2D to 3D with Frontier.cool? So we have three options here. Can't wait, sign me up. Very excited, but need more information. I can already see my design collection come to life. Yeah, so take a minute and choose your option. Thank you.
Thank you, Anushka. Thank you for that very exciting introduction of Frontier. And then let's take a minute, everybody take a minute to kind of answer the poll. And then in a few seconds, I will introduce the how the Frontier mechanism works and how do we use AI to enhance digital materials. And of course, I will also share the result of that poll with everybody as soon as it comes on. And by the way, this is the first webinar of 2023, and there will be many, many more to come. So if you have any questions or comments in the meantime, feel free, please drop it in the chat box. Our team of people will collect those questions and make sure we get to all of them at the end of this session. We will leave 10 to 20 minutes to answer all the questions. So here we go. This is the end result of that poll. So 89% of the people believe that it's super excited, but then they need more information. So this is perfect information to allow us to tell you, to share with you what kind of information that you'll be looking for in our next session, and as well as at the end of today's QA session. So with that said, I'm gonna dive right into how this all works. So how do generative AI is creating a lot of hype in the market space across so many different sectors. And then in Frontier, we also leverage the AI power to kind of rapidly be able to provide a scalable infrastructure to digitize materials. So how do we do it? We train a hybrid model, a GAN model, using 2D fabric images and 3D texture maps. And then as a result, this hybrid model is a combination of different models that are suited for different fabric types. As a result, it can reconstruct the normal map, roughness, displacement, and etc. based on one single 2D fabric image. So the beauty of this model is that the training data, of course, consistent, good quality training data increases, it becomes more and more reliable over time. So as a user, all you need to do is to scan your fabric with that 2D image, upload it to Frontier, and in 3 to 5 minutes, you will be able to get a downloadable U3M or GLTF file for your V-Stitcher or your Clo design use. Next, how are we able to get those physics? This is one of the most important, frequently asked questions that we get all the time. So to be truly unbiased and interoperable, we collect data from 3 different pools. Pool number 1 is, of course, we get it from the V-Stitcher fabric testing, the Fab kit, and then the Clo testing kit. That's the first pool of data that we get from. The second pool is that we actually got a lot of our data from the conventional physical property testing protocols, such as from AATCC, ISO, or ASTM, which a lot of you're probably very familiar with. And then the last pool is our user-generated physical properties. So with that, we ran a multi-dimensional regression model across all these data sets. And then we're able to find a correlation between different fabric categories, between different fabric types. So as long as a user provide us with information such as yarn, density, weight, that is in GSM, fabric description, fabric type, we're able to output values such as stretch, bend, thickness, shear, and friction. Those common physical properties that can drive most of the simulators on the market space, in the marketplace today. Next, coming up, this is what we call a validation report. Increasingly, all our users who are already users of Frontier coming to us, asking us that when they present their digital materials to their clients, they also want to show some type of a quantifiable result a visual representation of their digital materials to compare and contrast the difference, if there is any, between if they were using the VisTeacher conventional methods to output a digital material. So here we go. Let me take you through. So this first example is a knit at 100% cotton, 180 GSM, and cuttable width 56 inches. From top to down, left to right, at the top left corner, you will see the visual representation of a VisTeacher result comparing against the Frontier AI enhanced result. Front view and side view. As you will see, there's some minor difference, but then again, overall, quite accurate. And then here's the top view from the VisTeacher. If you are an advanced user, you will notice that in terms of the number of flares and then the distance from tip to bottom, it seems very consistent between the physical and then the AI output. Also, for those of you who are advanced users, we also share the physical property comparisons at the bottom right corner, so you can kind of see the difference between the physical properties on those different physical coefficients between thickness, bend, stretch, shear, and friction. Let's move on to the second example. The second example is a woven poplet at 100% cotton, yarn size 60 by 60, density 88 by 72, weight is 70 GSM, cuttable width 57 inches. Woven materials overall is actually relatively easier to predict than knitted materials. So again, from top to bottom, you see the difference in the VisTeacher environment between the conventional output and AI enhanced output. Again, in this case, you see very little difference, visually speaking. Number of flares are quite consistent with the physical results as well as the AI enhanced results. So the purpose of this report is that it allows designer to make an informed decision on whether to go ahead with this digital material or a further physical yardage submission is necessary to continue the prototyping process. And a lot of users find this very powerful. So if any of you in the audience find this something useful, please shout us out. And then we can kind of provide it as a service based on the materials that you digitize, and we can help you output this type of a report to share with your clients or your suppliers for that matter. Now let's moving on to how we decarbonize. So sustainability is a critical element when it comes to consumer buying, purchase decision-making process. And based on an INRIPA study, 92% of the consumers today will only purchase a product where they find the core value of a brand is around sustainability. And I believe a lot of you in the audience already working toward that goal. And with the partnership with Made2Flow, we've achieved exactly that. So every material digitized through Frontier, we're able to output greenhouse gas emission, water depletion, and land use. Those three metrics around based on per meter squared of the material. So we want to deliver this data to our user community, namely a lot of the designers early on in their decision process, so it can be factored into their design product development program as well. So with that said, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Anushka again for to share with us some of the client testimonials. Anushka, back to you.
Hi, everyone. So this is a few testimonials from our clients, and we've had some great feedback. Henry at Swisstech Direct, which is a company based in LA, basically tried the self-scanning option, found it very easy, got fantastic results with seamless pattern repeats for his best-selling fabrics, and shared it with their brand. So we're really glad that our solution could help Henry at Swisstech. A leading sportswear brand from the US basically reported that they've been talking about DPC for years, but now we're finally making significant progress because they're in control of the process. And a leading garment supplier from Sri Lanka basically said that they have a much larger pipeline of digital materials now. So it's possible to integrate DPC into more brands inside their company. So we're so glad that we could help these clients out. Moving on, yes, so we do encourage all of y'all to sign up on our platform, and we do have something special for y'all if y'all do sign up within the next 7 days. Y'all are going to receive 50 pieces of 2D digital materials and 20 pieces of U3M and GLTF files for you to start creating immediately. And we really want you to kind of get a taste and flavor of how our platform works. I have to say from personal experience, it's really simple and easy. So I think you're going to find it very intuitive to use. So yeah, definitely check the platform out. And lastly, for your attendance and your undivided attention, thank you so much for being here. And we are going to drop the link to these 3D ready files now in the chat. And you have 3 fantastic mood boards here, nothing but neutrals, linear love, and denim dreams. So we hope you enjoy creating with these fabrics. And I think now we're kind of going to open up for the Q&A session. And Janier, if you're going to be so kind as to take us through it, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for all your valuable information. And now we're gonna start our Q&A session. So please, if you have any questions, please drop us in the chat box, and we'll be glad to answer them. And yeah, please share your questions if you have any. Okay, we have one here from Amy, and she asked, how easily can I share my 3D scan materials with my clients?
Sure, let me take that question. Thank you,
Sure.
Janier. Just give me a second to share my screen. So here, this is the what you will see as soon as you enter the Frontier Solutions space. So we've kind of created different folders here, if you will. And then under the Frontier Cool Inc., you see Assets, Workspace, Mood Board, and Share with Me. And under Assets is where all your digital materials locate, where they live. You click in them, you will find all the details. So by sharing, you can group your digital materials into Workspace via different collections, such as apparel collection, sustainability, tights collection. And for instance, if you want to share this one, Frontier Cool DPC Webinar 2023, all you need to do is to click on the 3 dots, click on share. You can add people via email to join Collaborate, or you can copy a link and then share in your messenger, and then just share that link with all the people that you want to collaborate with. So this is as easy as a few clicks away for sharing. I hope that helps. There you go.
Okay, thank you, Wayne, for the answer. I think we have another one from Shayla. She asked, how will be the first step to creating a 3D material with Frontier.cool?
Okay, so again, from Shayla, the question was, what are the first steps to creating your digital material, right? So again, let me just take you through this process. So when you click on Assets, again, this is where all the materials sit in your digital fabric library. There's an error right here. It says upload. So when you click on upload, we provided 3 main processes for you to digitize your material. Number 1 is once you have scanned a 2D, you have a scanned 2D fabric image of that material, you can drag and drop it right here. Or you click in browser, you'll quickly be able to locate that scan image and just drop it right here, and then you will be able to create that asset. Secondly, the second process is that if you have not scanned an image already, but then if you have the specs of that material, you can create that asset without an image by filling in the item number, the description, the weight, cuttable width, the usual informations of a material, and then you click create, you will have that material created. Then you can, once you have the 2D image, you can upload it when you have it at your hand. Lastly is mass upload. When you have hundreds of materials in an Excel sheet that you want to quickly be able to dump all that information into Frontier, just find your Excel, just get that Excel sheet and drop it, click on browse, get the Excel sheet uploaded, and you will have all the standard specs of that information in the materials. Then you can upload the imagery of the fabric by scanning all those materials. So there you go. Hope this helps.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's super interesting. We have another question from Marietta. She asks, how easily does this system integrate with other 3D systems such as Flow or Browseware? Or is this only for PLM systems?
That's a great question. And Anushka, feel free to jump in anytime to add. I'm going to jump in right ahead. So we already have built plugins for both vStitcher and Clo. So the process is that in your, if you purchase the Frontier plugin, you can drag and drop the materials that you have in your digital library directly into your vStitcher or your Clo environment without switching between different environments. So we already have the plugin for that. And also, or is this only for PLM systems? And yes, we have an open API to connect with either PLM or ERP systems. And then the purpose of that is two ways. One is to very quickly be able to automate all the information migrating from your ERP to Frontier. And then secondly, if you're using Frontier as your main digital library build-up environment, you can kind of copy, duplicate all the information, transfer all the data, migrate back those data back to your master PLM for your master data collection. So the integration for PLM system with OpenAPI is both ways. I hope that answers your question.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Wayne. There's another question from Chin. She asks, how important is it for a vendor or supplier to have a DPC workflow in place before being considered as a good partner for a brand?
Okay, Wayne, I'll take this one.
Thank you.
Shin, that's a great question. We've actually been getting a lot of questions similar to this one from our vendors. So basically, I think with brands, especially the leading sportswear brands, they've had a DPC process in place for 10 to 15 years now. So I would say they're quite mature in terms of digital adoption. And they do expect their suppliers and their partners to kind of, comply on a vendor evaluation. And they do have KPIs for their vendors when it comes to the virtual quality standard. So I definitely think that it is beginning to become an entry-level criteria in terms of having a digital workflow in place. And if you need any help with digitizing your assets and getting that workflow started, we're happy to help.
Okay. Thank you so
And
much, Anish.
Sorry, I would just like to quickly add, based on what Anushka discussed earlier, is that there is an increasing need for brands to be able to get their suppliers, which are scattered all over the world, up to speed and up to a same benchmark or standard to be able to create repeatedly these digital assets in the pre-adoption space, in the pre-adoption phase. So that's why we've come out with a validation report to be able to quantify the results of the digital materials and be able to kind of show the visual difference and representation of a material based on that report. So if you find this is something helpful when you try to deploy this digital material process within your supply chain, this is something that you can really consider. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your answers. We have a question related to what you just said, which is from Clark. He asks, how can I collaborate with my internal team and invite my suppliers using your platform?
That's a great question. So again, Frontier, we're positioned very much like Canva, right? Again, easy to use, very quick to get started, and be able to share your current work with different members of the group inside your company and outside of your organization. So with that said, I'm gonna quickly share screen again on how you invite different people into a collaboration space. So see, this is my Frontier setup. I have different organizations, which meaning different groups of people working on different projects. For instance, if I click on the sandbox and going to management, and then you find all the, and once you click on members, you can find all the existing members who are editing this program, this collection. All you have to do is to click on invite at the top right corner, and then you will be able to invite the people via email. And then once you click here, or you can just click on the copy of a link and then share with anybody that you would like to collaborate with. The person will get an email, and then after a click through, they will be able to join and then share the use of these assets in this collaboration space. I hope that helps. There you go.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wayne. There's another question from Tommy. He asks, how fast is your fabric digitization solution as compared to other solutions?
Could you repeat that question again, please?
How fast is your fabric digitization solution as compared to other digital solutions?
Again, I'm going to take this, and Anushka, feel free to jump in. So typically, based on our most of our users say that scan, if you have a swatch or hanger at hand, and then you have access to internet and a flatbed scanner, it takes 3 to 5 minutes to scan a material. Basically, you go your office bed scanner, scan the material, upload it into Frontier, and then in 5 minutes, you will be able to get a digital material asset that's compatible with vStitcher or Clo. And we think the reason that we created our solution, a large part is that we want to enable scaling and collaboration, because in the fashion vertical, it's always based on what Anushka previously talked about. The traditional, the historical conventional workflow is just very static. You really just can't get started until the person in front of you has finished their work. So that's why we want to include this collaborative element into the process to allow all hands be able to get started on their process as soon as possible with all the relevant information at their fingertips. There you go.
Great. There's one more question from Plain. So she asks, like, if is it possible to access to your centralized library for free, or how can we know more about it?
There are two ways. You can go to our website, sign up, you get the first 10 materials, downloadable U3M for free, and then you can access the public library. The public library is where all the contributors of Frontier users worldwide, they have decided to share their digital assets publicly for you to download. So you can browse through those, just go into the search bar as you would in a Google search, try to find a material, and then you can download the U3M if it's available. And the second method is if you're having trouble still signing up or gaining access to the public library, just reach out to either Anushka or me or Janir, anyone on our team for a further demo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wayne. There's one more question from another person. Do you accept all fabric types and structures through the AI system?
This is a tricky one. Do you accept all fabric types and structures through the AI system? So if I understand your question correctly, is that are we able to handle most of the fabric categories on the marketplace right now? The answer is yes. The more information that you provide, the more information that AI can use to output the relevant 3D texture maps or the physical properties. And then those information include fabric description. And then we know that fabric description is something that is growing and growing by day. Whether that be a composition. If you have a new composition, feel free to drop it in there as well if we don't have those already. And then if you have a new fabric type, please drop it in there as well. But then overall, basically our AI enhanced mechanism can handle all the fabric types out there in the marketplace to date. There you go.
Okay, thank you so much, Wayne. Well, you guys can still ask more questions. Please, if you have more questions, please drop it in the chat box. And I have one personal question for you guys. Since I'm already in the team and I know how Frontier is helping a lot of global brands and retailers to digitize their fabrics. So how will you make it in simple words to tell them like what is the key value that they can get from our platform to digitize their fabrics or to use the platform to generate more ideas, to create their collections? How will you give us some inputs about that?
Yes, please go ahead, Anushka, if you have any comments.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Frontier is very, very rich in different solutions based on whether you're a brand or a supplier or a designer. And, suppliers have come to us obviously with the benefit that they've received is the rapid digitization of their fabrics, which have helped them create like an entire library of assets, right? And they can kind of put that in front of their customers super easily, collaborate with brands that they want to work with. And it's like a very, very easy way to share information, right? Within within the website itself, it's like everything from A to Z about the fabric and the physical properties, the sustainability impact. So I think like having it in one place with like a lot of options kind of like really makes it easy for the suppliers to kind of put it in front of their customers. And I'll let Wayne add the rest.
Thank you, Anushka. I think that was very helpful. I would say for myself, our goal in the last 1.5, 2 years, we saw a lot of users going into the digital product creation workflow space. And historically, it's kind of an advanced skill, if you will. So for a lot of the designers out there, they really just need a more of an intuitive, a friendlier method, ways to get into, to use digital workflow to design their product. And really, we're positioned as a very low entry barrier into the digital material space. So going forward, we will be seeing, I believe that we will be seeing a lot more designers start designing their styles using digital materials. That's one thing we would like to see. And then secondly, increasingly personally, we're just seeing so many of these digital native brands that are popping up that you never would have access into, because with the right of e-commerce, you can get access into a lot more brands that they're digital native. They design their prototypes with 3D and then quickly kind of show on their website or via social channels these digital prototypes, hyper realistic digital prototypes, and they can quickly test the market. And then the visitors can actually just click on those 3D assets and purchase and then place buy. So with that, it really increased the turnover cycle for any of those, even small, medium, or large brands, to kind of push their products in front of their customers really fast. And it kind of spurred another wave of new brands, designers entering the market, and then making this entire fashion e-commerce space a lot more robust and exciting. So we would really like to see that happen going forward, that there's just so many more design options for the end consumer. At the end of the day, consumers will benefit more by a lot more options, varieties out there. And with a digital workflow, we only really need to produce, we become more sustainable and then really only produce what we need for the market. So there we go. That's kind of my take. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your inputs. And now, if you have one more question, please drop it out in the chat box, because we're about to finish. So please ask any questions that you may have. If it's not, then we're gonna wrap it up. And yeah, so, and we also want to remind you about the GLTF file that we mentioned it. So please go to our website and please download the GLTF file and start creating your 3D digital collections and get inspired. And we would like to ask you some few questions before you leave, because we're gonna have a series of a lot of webinars coming on. So we would like to know what topics would you like us to cover. So the first one is like success stories of a seamless digital workflow between brands and supply chain partners, or fabrics, environmental impact measurements, or workflow about how to digitize materials at scale. So please choose the answer that you would like us to cover for the next webinar. Okay, we'll give you a few minutes to tell us what you will be interested. Okay, let's see the answer. Let's check out the answers. Well, oh, okay, interesting. So there is a tie between success stories of a seamless digital workflow between brands and suppliers and fabric environmental impact measurement. So we're gonna try to cover these two topics for our next webinar. So it will be about fabric's environmental impact measurement solutions, and how you can cooperate with your suppliers and brands smoothly. So thank you so much, guys, for your attention, and we hope you find this webinar really helpful and you could learn more about digital product creation and how you could leverage frontiers that cool solutions. All right. So thank you so much, guys, for your attention.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.